Hey guys, Jay here from Around the World Fitness. Today, I'm gonna teach you how to do a push-up. And if you can already do a push-up, I'm gonna teach you proper technique. So let's get started. So if you can't do a push-up, the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find a wall or a door. And what you're gonna do is keep your feet together. Okay, place your hands onto the wall. And what we're aiming for is our chest to come down where our hands are, okay? So you're here on the door, feet together, and just drop your elbows. As I have the door handles here, it cannot go all the way down, and push up. So this is the first step. And we're just gonna drop. And our elbows, we don't want our elbows flared out to the side. We want them back on an angle, almost like airplane wings. So we're gonna drop down, just drop your body between your hands, and push up. Okay, another thing, make sure that everything down here is engaged. You want your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, your calves, and even your abs. We want everything engaged, squeeze. So it's gonna make it a lot easier when you come up. So just drop down and squeeze everything and push back up. Okay, so practice doing these. And the next step, we're gonna go down to the ground. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna find a nice open space on the floor. We're gonna come down to your knees, and same principle applies. Our hands are gonna be straight, flat. We want a straight line here, and we're gonna put our knees on the ground. So here, what we're trying to do is bring our chest to the ground. And we're just gonna drop our chest between our arms here, okay? So let your chest touch the ground and push back up. Okay, so just drop straight down and push up. And remember, your elbows are back like an airplane. We don't want it to the side because that's gonna increase the chance of injury in your shoulder. So hands flat, arms straight, just drop straight down and come up. And another thing is, remember, even though you're not using your legs really, but keep everything tight here. Squeeze your hamstrings, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes, because we want to get in the habit of keeping all the muscles engaged. That's why we do body weight workouts, because we're using multiple muscle groups together. Also, keep our abs engaged. So the next thing what we're going to do is we're going to come over here, and the next progression after you go from your knees, then we're going to do a plank. So the same principle applies. Okay, we want a nice straight line here. And we want our feet together. So now we're gonna use everything. And this is when it's important to engage your core, because we're gonna be here, okay? You want your head up, nice and straight. Keep your core tight, your hamstrings tight, your quads. If not, you're gonna notice my hips. If I come here, okay, so right now everything is tight and engaged. If I disengage my glutes, look what happens to my hips. My hips drop down. So if I do the push-up, the first thing that's gonna touch is my hips. And that's a big, big no-no. Because the first thing we want to touch is our chest. We don't even want our hips to touch the ground. So come here, straight. Remember, elbows back like an airplane. Okay? And we're just gonna hold. And another thing that I want you to work on when you're here is our scapula. Okay? Because when we come down on a push-up, we're just dropping our elbows and our scapula is contracted here. So the same thing, when we're in this position here, we want our scapula contracted. So we're gonna come here, feet together, okay? Keep everything tight, and we're contracting our back. So that's it. So with this position, this plank, you're gonna hold for 30 seconds, okay? You're gonna try to get 3 reps, and if you're feeling better, then you go for 45 seconds until you can move on to the next step. So the next step, you're gonna look for a couch, a chair, or here, because we're in Bali, I have a beach chair right next to the pool. So we're gonna come, our hands are gonna be elevated, and it's the same principle. Our feet are together, everything here, you can see, we're gonna squeeze from my feet all the way up. So keep your calves, quads, hamstrings, my core tight. and we're just gonna drop down. So scapula is engaged in the back, elbows like an airplane, slowly drop, and my chest is in line with my hands. And then push back up. Okay, that's all we're doing, just dropping straight down. Scapula is engaged in the back, everything is tight, and push up. If everything's not tight, look at my hips. See how my hips drop? And then I come down, my hips are too low. All right, that's not gonna be good for your back. And another thing, we don't want our head touching first, okay? Because then we're gonna be working shoulders if we do that. What we're trying to do here is keep a nice straight body, everything's engaged, slowly drop down, and push back up. All right, and the next thing is gonna be for you guys or girls that can actually do a push-up, okay? You can already do a push-up, but maybe something is wrong with your form. And I'm gonna show you the reasons why and how it's more beneficial if you do the full range of motion. So the first thing we talked about is we want a nice solid base with our hands and our feet. So we want our feet, our toes curled, everything is tight, and we're gonna drop down. So remember, elbows back like an airplane, chest line with your hands, and our chest is touching first, not our hips, okay? Our hips are actually up. We're gonna push straight up, and what you can do if you wanna go the extra mile, and this is how you're gonna build this here, the serratus that you see. Okay, a lot of people ask me, how can I build this muscle? Well, it's very easy. When you come down on the push-up, you come down, and when you come up, I want you to watch it. And now I'm gonna go push up a little bit more. That extra mile at the end, and there you can see it. It's popping. The serratus is popping. And that's how you get that muscle. Okay, so full range of movement. This is very important because I see a lot of guys, they're doing push-ups like this. If you do that, you're kind of just, you're only getting half the benefit. So you're wasting your time. So go all the way down. Okay, nice and tight. Keep everything tight. Your head is up. And drive. So what I like to do too, I tell people, when you push through your hands, pretend like you're pushing to the floor. And when you get to the top, this is very, very important. This is gonna help you get shredded. Or if you're a lady, it's gonna help you build more muscle and burn more fat. When we get to the top, try to squeeze your hands together. Imagine that when your hands are here, you're trying to push them together, because what happens if I do a push-up like this? Okay, you can see, working my chest. But what happens when I push my hands together? Now we're engaging this inner muscle here. Okay, so it's important when you come up to the top, you lock out and you squeeze. You're trying to push your hands together, and that's gonna help us develop this in here. Okay, that's how we develop the whole chest. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. All right, take care and good luck.